Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, to our annual Martin Luther King Jr. Day Assembly. Today's assembly is no different from the past. We have students from kindergarten all the way through high school that have helped participate in collecting things that they want to share and teach each other and teach us about the wonderful life of Dr. King. We have a dance, we have an original rap, we have, of course, a birthday song, and a few other pieces of stories about the incredible life of Dr. King. But today, you know, the buzz is a little out, and you've seen someone that perhaps looks a little familiar to walk across the front of the stage. And I just wanted to say that our special guest is here courtesy of his godson, who's got a special rap role. And we're delighted, of course, to have the Reverend Dr. Jesse Jackson speak to us today. Dr. Jackson is one of America's foremost civil rights, religious, and political figures, and he is repeatedly listed as one of the top 10 most admired people in America. For the past 40 years, he has played a pivotal role in almost every movement that is related to empowerment, peace, civil rights, gender equality, economics, social justice, you name it. He's been awarded 40 honorary doctoral degrees, and in the year 2000 was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Clinton. He mounted 2 presidential campaigns, and let me tell you how old you feel when you have teachers in the school who weren't not born, sir, when you ran in 84 and 88. But he became an international diplomat and was often sought out to do some sensitive, delicate work in getting captured, getting released soldiers, journalists, and citizens who were held in hostile territories, and also worked hard to free Nelson Mandela and end apartheid in South Africa. I think he's going to tell us a little bit about his origin as a young man and how he became an activist and how he ended up in this career path. But we are delighted to have a man here today who has walked with Dr. King. And I think, you know, one of my favorite Dr. King quotes is that everyone can be great because everyone can serve. And I certainly know that this man that's going to address us today is pretty darn great, because we've just seen a little bit of what he has done for our country. It's my pleasure to turn the podium over to Reverend Dr. Jesse Jackson.
Thank you for such a kind and generous introduction. How's everybody? I'm delighted to be with you today on this very special occasion as we honor the life and legacy of Dr. King. I'm delighted to be especially as the guest of Reverend Otis Moss III and his wife, Monica, whose son, Elijah, is a member of this class. Elijah's grandfather, Reverend Otis Moss Jr., knew Dr. King before 1955 and worked with him for the longest period of time. As a matter of fact, Reverend Otis Moss III, the father of the son of Reverend Moss, and his mother were married by Dr. King on Morehouse's campus, an enduring legacy of the Moss family and the King family. And just this past Tuesday, 84th birthday of Dr. King, we had a dialogue with Otis Moss II and I talking about our work with Dr. King. So I'm especially delighted that the Moss family was good enough to invite us here today. I want to express my thanks and my delight to be with you today, because when I look at the Morgan Park Academy, Dr. King would be so delighted to be here today himself. You represent a little portion of the world. Here you sit in a multiracial, multicultural setting, across lines of race and religion and gender, trying to do a difficult thing. We have learned to survive apart. We must not do it and even more difficult thing, and even more gratifying, learning to live together. See, we have learned, repeat, we have learned to survive apart. And white, and black, and brown, and male, and female. I've learned to live in my neighborhood, with my group, with people who look like me, talk like me, and have a comfort zone in that neighborhood. Now I have a bigger challenge in Morgan Park Academy, learning to live together without barriers, learning to bring down walls and build bridges and coexist together, build a better and safer world. We can, if we will, and we must. Put your hands together, that really makes sense. I noticed whether dramatic to have these lights off, but unless you've not paid your light bill, turn these lights on so I can see what I'm looking at. Put your hands together one more time, I can see you. Many years ago, 1968, Dr. King was killed suddenly in Memphis, Tennessee. He had a program he was organizing called the Poor People's Campaign. He felt that beyond the long seasons of slavery and segregation and fight for the right to vote, we had to fight for poor people to have a place to stay and food to eat and adequate nutrition and education that should be a floor beneath which no one would fall. We were fighting in Memphis for garbage workers. He felt that garbage workers, in some circles known as social engineers, while their work may be unclean work, their mission is to clean up the streets, establish up the germs. This is honorable work of dignity. And even the janitor, even the garbage worker looks forward one day to putting on their suit, their dress, and coming to watch their child graduate from school. If he fought for the dignity of those workers, he was killed suddenly one afternoon in Memphis, Tennessee. But we had been taught by him to let nothing stand between us and our mission to change the course of Americans. We went on to Washington, and what was the Poor People's Campaign. We set up a makeshift city called the Resurrection City, a city made up of tents where all of us came together from around the country. So on his last birthday, Dr. King convened us around 10 o'clock that morning. He had, on his last birthday, he had breakfast with his family around 8 o'clock in the morning. Around 10, he came to the church in his blue jeans and dungarees, sport shirt. There were some whites from Appalachia and some Native Americans and some African Americans from Deep South, some Latinos, and some Jewish allies from New York. They taught us how to prepare to go to Washington to dramatize the need to focus on the war on poverty and not the war on Vietnam, to start killing and start healing, to make the world better, to make the world more secure. And around noontime, we stopped and had a measured celebration of his birthday. And then we had a major session on how to end that war. But while on that mission in Memphis, he was suddenly killed. So then we found ourselves in great despair. Despair because we had lost him. That was such a huge force of justice and fatherhood for us to lose so suddenly in such a tragic, in such an ugly way. And Dr. King was killed April 4th, and when he was killed, Bobby Kennedy and Harry Belafonte and Sidney Poitier and others came to Atlanta for the major funeral. Well, that was April 4th. June 5th, Robert Kennedy was killed in Los Angeles. these two tragic assassinations back to back in about a 60-day period. So our heads were down, our hearts were heavy, and tears were flowing every way. And I was on the back of a truck. I've been named mayor of Resurrection City, a little makeshift city. And people looking up to me to say something to them, to offer them something. I had no money to give them. I could not send them back home on the bus or on a plane or train, as the case may have been. But in their teary eyes, they were saying something to me, help me, bail me out. And I read a book some years before called Jesus the Disinherited, a great theologian named Howard Thurman. He said that when our backs are against the wall, we are seeming that nothing else, reduced to our very essence, that we are somebody, because we're God's children, and we all have a common sense of humanity. So I began to say to them that I am somebody. I may be poor, I may be unemployed, unskilled, but I am somebody. And that basic theme has resonated around the world across these years. So I want you at Morgan Park Academy to engage in that basic refrain. Say, I am.
I am.
I'd like to mean that I am.
I am.
Down here, say, I am.
I am.
Somebody. Respect me. Protect me. In the balcony, on your feet, in the balcony, on the balcony, on your feet. In the balcony, on the back, on your feet, stand up, stand up. Say, I am.
I am.
Oh, I am sleeping. I am. Somebody. Respect me. Protect me. Never neglect me. Everybody stand. Everybody stand. Everybody stand. Say, I am. Somebody. I am. Somebody. I matter. I can learn. I will learn. I must learn. I can learn. I will learn. I must learn. My mind is a pearl. I can learn anything in the world if my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it. I know I can achieve it. Red and yellow, brown, black, and white. We're all precious in God's sight. Everybody is somebody. Everybody does matter. The only justification for looking down on someone is to stop and pick them up. I'm measured by how much I care. I'm measured by lifting up my neighbor. I am somebody. Stop the violence. Louder, stop the violence. Save the children. Stop the violence. Save the children. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Never give up. Keep hope alive. Morgan Park Academy. Number one. Let me hear you scream. In your young years, there are some lessons that are timeless. One is that life is full of choices and consequences. The older I get, the freer I become. With my freedom come responsibilities and choices. With my choices, there are consequences. I may choose to disobey my teacher or my parents. It's a bad choice, and there are bad consequences. I may choose to dash in front of a moving car. It's my freedom, it's my choice, it's a bad choice. I'm free and agile enough to jump from the balcony. I'm free to jump from the balcony. But I'm not free to avoid the consequences of the bad choice. I must accept the fact that life is full of choices and consequences. I want you who are really 10th, 11th, and 12th grades, raise your hands. From upside 10th. Now let me ask you, I think really some basic questions. How many of you have a friend or know someone who is in jail? Please stand. You know somebody who's in jail? Please stand. You know somebody who's in jail? Please stand. You know somebody who's in jail? Please stand. You know someone who's in jail? Please stand. Be seated. You know someone who has tried drugs? Please stand. Be seated. You know someone who has tried, who has drunk, who has had alcohol? Stand. Be seated. You know someone who has brought a gun to school? Stand. Be seated. You know someone who has considered suicide? Please stand. Be seated. So life is full of choices and consequences. I must choose the high road with high consequences. I must choose life over death. I must choose futures over funerals. Somehow we must turn to each other, not on each other, and build a better world. It is, does Hyde Park Academy have a basketball team? Send up basketball players, send up basketball players. Morgan Park had a basketball, forget it. Now, keep standing. How many hours a day does the team practice? Huh? 2 hours a day? 2 hours, all right? You having the radio on in practice? No radio? You have TV on in practice? And your girlfriends come visit your wife practice? If you're sweating and get tired, can you sit down? You ever practice on your own when you go home? So, 2 hours a day, no radio, no TV, no telephone. Girlfriend can't visit you. You're tired, you can't stop. What do you do when you get tired? You keep on running, okay? Let me flip it around. When you go home at night, you spend 2 hours every night. Talk to me, somebody. Study 2 hours every night? You ever have radio on while you're studying? You ever have TV on when you're studying? Can your girlfriend call you when you're studying sometimes? You call your girlfriend sometimes? When you get tired, what do you do? Sit down, give them a big hand. I raise those questions because there are two outstanding challenges of your generation. One is to use this season to develop your minds. Two, to learn to live together. Well, I thought the King would enjoy being here with you today because you look like the world he fought for. Across lines of race and gender, here you sit. In our world, we live by the map. Today, you live in your tender ages by the globe. If I were to catch a plane right now, Reverend Moss, you were to catch a plane at Kenda Airport, and one of us was flying to Senegal, West Africa, And one of us was flying to Los Angeles, we'd get there about the same time. The world has been made smaller by science and timing and distance. It makes us closer. Say today, our languages may be different, but the message is the same. We want learning and liberty everywhere. We want drinkable water everywhere. We want to wipe out diseases everywhere. We want children to learn everywhere. Stop the flow of drugs. Stop the gun violence. Learn to respect each other everywhere. Learn to coexist as brothers and sisters in this one world everywhere. 1/2 of all human beings are Asian. Half of them are Chinese. 1/8 of the human race is African, 1/4 Nigerian. America is a great and a blessed nation, a great world powerhouse, and so are the Russians. The U.S. is about 6% of the world population. We are a minority member of the human family. Matter of fact, English is a minority language in our hemisphere. Most people in our hemisphere speak Spanish. In South, Central, Latin America, our neighbors speak Spanish. Our neighbors speak Spanish. In Brazil, our neighbors speak Portuguese. We must learn more than one language in this world to communicate with our neighbors. English is a great language, but Jesus did not speak it. Put your hand together, somebody. So most people in the world, in the real world, on my iPod, most people in the real world are yellow, brown, black, non-Christian, poor, female, young, and don't speak English. In that world, I must learn to build, I must learn to grow. I often see people make references to Dr. King on the issue of the I Have a Dream speech, but there are two things about that I want to share with you today. One is that to know Dr. King behind the speech, at age 14, Dr. King led a debate on the Negro and the Constitution. So the Negro and the Constitution. He learned and memorized the Constitution at age 14. He learned how to get free the protection of our Constitution. Dr. King graduated from high school at the age 15. He graduated from Morehouse College at age 19. He graduated from seminary at age 22. He got his PhD at age 26. Dr. King used his youth wisely. And so, the opportunity and challenge to lead came his way. He was prepared. It would have been too late to get prepared if opportunity came his way. And he was not prepared. So every year and every day matters. Every day matters. Dr. King was a scholar, an activist, and a leader. I remember so well when I was in the 6th grade, we went through a rather traumatic experience. For my brother and I, we moved to another side of town. We had been going to the same school for the first 5 years, and by that time we learned what class to try to go to. We could come late, leave early, and play a lot. We could have learned how to get to the 5th grade and maneuver the teachers. Even since the children learn early on what teachers crack down on us, and what teachers can be maneuvered. Put your hand together, somebody. And so we went to the 6th grade class, and I ended up in Mrs. Shelton's class. And Mrs. Shelton, she came in, there were like 60 students in one class and 10 in the other. So I sat where we had all of these available chairs. And I did not realize why others had gone to the other class. Well, that was a teacher that did not take them seriously. And so when we sat down, Mrs. Shelton came in, she was a little short lady, she said, sit upright, sit with erect, erect. So we said, with your diaphragm. Well, we had never heard the word diaphragm at that point. Diaphragm, erect. So that she began to write on the board, on like what she was writing. And so we said, this is the 6th grade, not a 6. We said loud enough for her to hear us. So suddenly she said, I know what grade this is. I taught here last year. And I promise you this year that I will never teach down to you. One of you little brats, she said, I know your mothers, I know your parents, and what I do know is that you will learn in this class and you will not leave this class. She said, this is a dictionary, and this is Roget's Thesaurus. And these are no longer big words, they're no longer big words with polysyllabic terms. A word with many syllables. I will never teach down to you. She said, one of you little brats might run for governor president one day. I don't want to be embarrassed. So many years later, after she had retired, I did run for the presidency, and she had retired from school. So she ran for office on my ticket. And she won. She became the first black teacher in South Carolina history, female, to be in the state legislature, because the teacher would not teach down. So going to her for a year was like a real tough military academy. We had to come early and leave late and do all kind of homework, which we thought was punishment at that time. So that summer while I was playing ball in school, I came home early one day, getting to go and play on the other side of town. I thought I saw her car in front of our house. I really couldn't imagine her car being in the front of our house, because she lived in another place. And when I came in the house and ran up the steps, my mother said, come back right quick. I said, Miss Shelton, I'm so glad to see you. I was not glad to see her. I did not want to ever see Mrs. Shelton again after a year of her teaching torture. And so, my mother said, she's here because, why? Miss Shelton said, well, I taught you last year there were too many excused absences, and there were too many fire drills. I could not finish my syllabus. So I asked Mrs. White, could I take my class to the next grade, my whole class? I said, I'm not ready to sign up, Mr. Burton. She said, Mother said, no, I've signed you up to go with her to the next class. Mrs. Shelton would not teach that. Said Mrs. Shelton would not teach down to us. She would not give up. She believed in us. She made us learn and build and grow. Morgan Park Academy teaches us in the tradition of Dr. King, the tradition of Nelson Mandela, the tradition of Barack Obama. There's nothing we cannot do. We must dream and believe. I dream one day I will be a teacher. I dream one day I will be a minister. I dream one day I will be a musician. I'll be a chemist, an engineer. I have the capacity to realize my dream that every day builds upon the next day. I have no days to waste and no time to lose. And if I work hard as if every day does matter and every day does matter, then I can say, like Dr. King, I have a dream. And one day, every student in Morgan Park Academy will graduate. I dream one day with no more children in Sandy Hook or Morgan Park be shot down. I dream one day when drugs will stop flowing, the bullets will stop whizzing, we can live together in peace and learn and live together and love each other and care each other. I can, I will, I must realize my dream. Love you very much.